Hello and welcome to Take Time. I'm your host Patrick Marlett, a lover of all things Seiko. Most all things. And today we're looking at two prototypes of the upcoming Chronicle by Mitch Mason watches. The intro makes more sense now. As you can see, the design is heavily inspired by the 44 Grand Seiko, but with a dial more in line with a vintage field watch. Sadly, I've never owned a 44 Grand Seiko, nor any Seiko Grand model with a similar case, so this was a real treat. However, it's not all sunshine and daisies here on Take Time. Of course not. Allow me to elaborate on the bad and good before I hand you my verdict on the Mitch Mason Chronicle. Now, do note that both of these prototypes were lent in for review. However, one will ultimately be gifted to the channel, so a special thanks goes out to Ben and the Mitch Mason team for sending these my way. It's hard to look at this design and think of anything other than Seiko. I say this both as a watch collector and Seiko-holic, but this similarity, inspiration, or whatever you want to call it, needs to be addressed on the website and corresponding Kickstarter. At the time of filming this review, the Kickstarter is not out, but I do hope there is an acknowledgement to the brilliant design work Seiko's team, specifically Taro Tanaka, put into crafting this look, as it is the quintessential example of the grammar of design that all Grand Seikos follow to this day. The case of the Chronicle features a screw-down crown, so cast those fears aside. You can now dive 200 meters into the sea. Just be sure to switch the leather strap first. I'm thoroughly not concerned about water slipping into the case, as the crown is very difficult to unscrew. It could just be these prototypes, but the threading holds very tightly, and the crown itself, despite the knurling, is extremely slick. It's trying to accomplish a look that's both dress and field, but the crown could stand to be a little more field, perhaps textured to provide a better grip. Both the contemporary styling of the black dial variant and vintage look of the beige dial are extremely attractive. While the jet black carries the Mitch Mason logo and features a sandwich dial with recessed 3, 6, 9, and 12 hour markings, the desert sand option has a flat profile with lume only featured on the hands and railway minute track. As of filming, there are 4 dial variants in all, 2 within each styling seen here. I'm personally more fond of the refined simplicity of the vintage styling, but both are equally handsome. The case features a mixture of finishing from polish to brush that all match well with the dial. I never thought this case would look as good with a field watch dial, but the combination is cohesive. The real tie-in for me is the handset made for the Chronicle. It's fashioned to appear like a knot of twine, as seen with this distinctive hour hand. This design was intended to represent the Chronicle's marrying of both modern and vintage style. Funny how the most symbolic feature is the one to complete this look. I've had some pretty awful displays of old radium lume on this channel, but I found both these prototypes to be perfectly bright and even. This can only be improved with the production model, so look forward to that. The case's flat back and lug profile allow it to wear snugly across the wrist from top to bottom, and when paired with the lovingly hand-stitched leather strap options, make for the perfect daily wearer. On that note, let's take a look at these two Chronicles on my 7¼ inch wrist. It's hard to be original these days, but despite its similarities to Seiko's designs, the Mitch Mason Chronicle manages to be its own creation. The side profile, dial, and handset all work to separate this model as the Chronicle. It pays homage to one of the most classic dress watch designs and gives it a renewed purpose as a field watch. For under $500, you're getting a whole lot of watch, and if you're a Seiko-holic like myself, you're sure to enjoy it. Again, my name is Patrick Marlett, and thank you for the time.